I'm gonna flip the script on Mr. 60 Second Startup. First question is, what is the name of your business?
The Plunge.
In one sentence, what does the Plunge do?
The Plunge is the game that sucks. It is axe throwing minus the hospital visit. I was watching a bunch of degenerates called Dude Perfect on YouTube. Their third most watched video ever is plunger trick shots, has 55 million views. I immediately went to Home Depot, grabbed plungers and started throwing them around the store. The second that they stuck, I knew that there was a game.
How do you make a game like this? You got a board, you have plungers. Are you making these in your backyard? Just how does this come to reality? How do you bring this to life?
At the end of the day, the mission of this business is not to just be a single game, it's to be a full game brand. The actual LLC that we formed with Doola is called Unplugged Games, because the whole mission is if we can disconnect people from tech and reconnect them with the people who matter in their lives via games, we'll feel really good about the work we're doing. I got connected to this guy who builds product in Brooklyn. We bought every backyard game out there. We bought cornhole, we bought games I've never heard of. He drew up basically a 3D sketch of what this game could look like, had it manufactured in China, and now this design is probably the fourth design, the fourth iteration of it.
How did you come up with the name, The Plunge?
Well, the mic you're holding is the tool that we use to throw the axes. It is a standard drain and sink plunger. Literally, you could buy this at Home Depot. We just made it our Plunge green. And so I just thought The Plunge is a great name and it alludes to what you're throwing.
A lot of people, I think, have these crazy business ideas or side hustles. I'd put this in the bucket of crazy. It's a game where you're throwing plungers at a board.
As I've been building this business, I've been trying to be as scrappy and bootstrappy with this as I was with Morning Brew. You really have to be excited by the process and the journey, because there's nothing like glorious about me testing out hundreds of plungers, me putting together a board out of acrylic, me, walking down the streets in New York asking people to play this game. It's ridiculous, at times monotonous work, but I love the process of building businesses. I love the process of using new software like Doola. How does supply chain work? Chinese New Year is a thing and you can't work with factories for a month because all of China basically shuts down for this period of time. Business is, when done right, you're getting paid to learn a ton. This is an inherently social and viral game. So I think a big way we can drive early sales for the game is using this board in the most ridiculous ways possible to create short form content. So what we're about to do in Times Square with having people get $1 for every time they hit the plunge. That will inherently drive interest, and then we'll drive that interest to our Kickstarter page. Everything is commoditized. If you have success with a game, so whether we look at Spikeball or Crossnet or Cornhole, you will be copied 1000%, because you can't patent what you're building in a way that people can't build it. And so if you know that what you're building is commoditized, the only way you can stand out is through brand, it's through marketing, and it's through community. So my view has been build that as early as possible, because at the end of the day, if this succeeds, that will be the reason it succeeds.
You had this awesome tweet on the mission critical stack of tools needed to get a business off the ground. What were some of the top pain points or pains that you felt when you were just getting this business off the ground and going through that process?
So I actually felt like a first-time founder in the sense of having to find stuff. So it was very simple. It's okay, I had my game ready. Now I should probably have a business. How am I going to create a business? And honestly, the reason I thought of Doola is from seeing all the content you create online, having a strong organic social strategy is so important, because that's actually why I thought of your business, is because I know this guy as the LLC guy. I want to set up an LLC for my business. The next thing was setting up my company bank account. The way I figured that out was I have a group of founders in a text group. I just texted, when you guys were in the early days of your business, what was the best product you used for banking? And so then I just used what was recommended. And so when you think about it, actually, I would say a lot of, and it depends on the size of your network, but all of the decisions I made for banking, for trademarking, for setting up an LLC, it all came through some semblance of trust. Either me having trust in you because you've created good content on social, or it's founders who I have trust in, they recommend a product, and because I trust them, I think I'm going to trust the product they recommend.
Very cool. So I always like to say word of mouth is the strongest form of marketing. You can see ads, you can see other people recommend, but if a true friend says, hey, you should try this tool out, then that's one of the most powerful things.
And that's, by the way, that's why I think every company should have a referral program, because like that's how Morning Brew grew a ton. We have 4.5 million subscribers on our daily newsletter, and I want to say 450,000 people have shared the newsletter without at least one person. If we have customers who love our product, how do we make it as easy as humanly possible and incentivized in the right way to get their friends, their network to be customers as well? Like, I don't know why every company doesn't think about that. I think I have acute awareness of what I'm good at. Like, I'm great at bringing a product to market. I'm great at marketing, and I'm great at sales or storytelling. I believe I can find a better operator for any business that I launch. So for any business I create in the future, I want an amazing operator that I can join in partnership with, who will run the day-to-day of the business.
Spend your time on the 20% that does matter, and then for everything else, which you're very self-aware you're not the best at, find world-class or best-in-class talent to do that.
Yeah, the best, and by the way, this is like nothing new, it's been done forever. The best case study of this is Richard Branson. The Virgin Empire has 400 companies. He doesn't operate any of them. He finds operators who have great ideas, who have institutional knowledge around space travel, whether it's a hotel business, whether it's airlines. And he goes into a 50-50 JV partnership with those operators. He had diagnosed ADHD growing up, and he's like, I wanted to build infrastructure around my business that matched my personality, and my goal is to do the same exact thing.
What would you say is the upside, the asymmetric upside of doing something like this in Times Square, where we're gonna go play the Plunge there?
The hosts of Good Morning America see us playing it in their backyard, and all of a sudden, Michael Strahan comes out and he's like, can I try it? And then the next day, we're on Good Morning America talking about the Plunge.